all you cool crooks and killers, welcome back to True Crime Now, your #1 source on the internet for daily true crime videos. People go missing all the time around the world. Sometimes they are found dead or alive, and the mystery is resolved more or less. Other times they are never heard from again. We have found some of the strangest vanishing acts of all time, and today we are counting down 10 people who seemingly vanished off the face of the earth. Number 10. Bison. Bison was an American professional basketball player for the Chicago Bulls during their championship in 1997. However, in 2002, Dell, his girlfriend, his skipper, and his brother were out at sea for a trip just off the coast of Tahiti. Only one of the four would ever make it back. Dell is believed to have been murdered by Miles DeBoer, his brother, as he was the only one who came back from the fateful boat journey. By his own account, DeBoer stated that Dell's girlfriend accidentally hit her head and died while out at sea. He then said that the skipper wanted to report the death. However, Miles says Dell panicked and killed the skipper. DeBoer then had to kill his own brother in self-defense after the two incidents. Obviously, his account is not believed by authorities. Unfortunately, we will never know all of the facts of the story for sure because DeBoer took his secrets with him to his grave when he intentionally overdosed on insulin that same year. He is likely the only person who really knew what actually happened out at sea that day. What a bizarre story! Just wait until you hear the stories coming up in this video that will have you wondering about what happened to these people for the rest of the day. Number 9. Owen Parfitt. The disappearance of Owen Parfitt from his front porch is a very mysterious situation no matter how you slice it. In the summer of 1763 in Shepton, Malay, Owen Parfitt disappeared from his sister's front porch, never to be seen again. What makes this story so mysterious, you ask? Well, Owen was a 60-year-old man and completely paralyzed. The farmhands working in the fields that day did not see Owen leave or see anyone arrive and take Owen away. Owen Parfitt just simply vanished and has never been seen again. Number 8. D.B. Cooper. The name D.B. Cooper will forever be etched into airline history as one of the most bizarre and confusing hijacking cases of all time. In 1971, a well-dressed gentleman purchased an airline ticket to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Under the alias Dan Cooper, later reported in the media as D.B. Cooper. Shortly after takeoff, things took a drastic turn when D.B. handed a note over to a flight attendant, informing her of explosives he had on board. He demanded $200,000, 4 parachutes, and a refueling truck upon landing in Seattle. After landing, the passengers were let go. The money was brought on board and the plane was refueled. 30 minutes after taking off again, Cooper leapt from the back of the plane with 1 parachute and the cash. No evidence has been found to prove if Cooper is dead or alive, and DB's real identity and the location of the money have never been found. Number 7. Amelia Earhart. American pilot Amelia Earhart had quite an impressive resume. However, it was her attempt at a flight around the world in 1937 that intrigues people the most. No one is certain about what exactly happened to Amelia and her navigator, Fred Noonan. They vanished along with their plane over the Pacific Ocean while en route to Howland Island. It is widely believed that the plane simply ran out of fuel while attempting to locate the island, as Earhart's last communications were regarding having trouble finding the refueling location. Many historians believe the plane was ditched into the Pacific Ocean by Earhart. However, many more outlandish theories have surrounded the legend of Earhart, from being a spy to finishing her flight and disappearing because of the fame. All we truly know is that Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan were never seen again. To learn more details about the disappearances of D.B. Cooper and Amelia Earhart, check out our video on the top unexplained disappearances. Number 6. Henry Hudson. Henry Hudson, a famed British navigator who has quite a few things named after him, went missing in 1611 after a mutiny aboard his ship. Hudson's crew were homesick, starving, and after months of being stuck in the ice, done with exploring. Hudson, however, was not finished. This, as you can imagine, did not sit too well with his crew, who decided to abandon Hudson, along with his son and loyal sailors to him. They left the captain and his now tiny crew in a small boat in the middle of what is now aptly called Hudson Bay. While it is not known what really happened to Hudson or how the mutiny started, the theory is that he died out in Hudson Bay. The crew went unpunished as there were only a few of them that actually made it back to England for the trial. Some believe that the small boat story didn't really happen, and that Hudson and his family were actually murdered by the crew. We will never know for sure. We are halfway through our countdown, and I have so many questions. Are some of these cases still open? Will they ever be solved? Let us know if you have questions in the comments, and if we should do a part 2 to this video. Number 5. Frank Morris. 36 inmates have tried to escape from Alcatraz over its 29 years in operation. 23 were captured, 6 were shot, and 2 drowned. Now, if you were following along with the math, that leaves 5 unaccounted for. These 5 are still listed as missing to this day, and Frank Morris was the most famous of them. Being convicted at age 13 for his first crime and then continuing to break the law up until he was sent to Alcatraz, Frank was no stranger to the justice system. Frank was considered very intelligent with an IQ of 133, so it is no surprise that Frank and 2 other inmates planned to escape. Despite the authorities claiming that all 3 drowned in their escape, a lot of evidence points to the fact that the 3 escapees actually survived. A letter sent to the authorities in 2013 claims that Frank Morris died in 2008, but no one can verify the letter is in fact true or a hoax. Number 4. Solomon Northup. The story of Solomon Northup is an amazing journey about slavery. We know the book and the movie version of 12 Years a Slave, which is an incredible story. After being tricked, Solomon was kidnapped and put into slavery for over 10 years. He was eventually freed with some assistance from a sympathetic Canadian carpenter, and Solomon then wrote a memoir and became a traveling lecturer. During this time, he had traveled to Canada in 1857, where he then disappeared without a trace. Some believe he was kidnapped again and forced back into slavery. Others believe he was killed for his beliefs. Whether either one is true or something entirely different happened, his disappearance is truly a mystery of an interesting and noble man. Number 3. Heinrich Mueller. Heinrich Mueller is one of the most disgraceful people of our time. As a member of the Nazi Germany police, the Gestapo, he quickly moved up the ranks to chief and officially joined the Nazi Party in 1939. Mueller was known to promote false information, which led to Germany invading Poland and ultimately the Holocaust. As you might have guessed from our list, no one knows what happened to Mueller. He was last seen alive on May 1st, 1945. It was well known that he did not want to be caught by the Russians and definitely did not want to be a prisoner to anyone. To this day, he is the highest ranking member of the Nazi Party whose whereabouts still remain a mystery. Some people should never be found and simply forgotten, and Mueller fits into this category. Number 2. Harold Holt. Imagine that you are the Australian Prime Minister and you enjoy swimming at your local beach just like anyone else. Now imagine that swim is the last time you are ever seen again. This happened to Australian Prime Minister Harold Holt in December of 1967. This Prime Minister was a skilled swimmer and long-time serving member of Parliament. His body was never recovered, and it wasn't until 2005 that the coroner finally ruled the death to be an accidental drowning. Cheviot Beach is known for its strong rip currents and sharks. However, this did not stop the rumors from flying surrounding Holt's disappearance. From UFOs to faking his own death to be with his mistress, to the crazy idea that he swam out to sea to meet up with a Chinese submarine. Because Holt was actually a Chinese spy all along, apparently. Alright, we've made it to our number 1 pick. Do you know who it is? We bet you've at least heard of him. Number 1. Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa was not known for being a good guy. What he was known for was being an extremely corrupt union leader. It is well established now that Jimmy was taken out by the mob after vanishing from a restaurant parking lot in Detroit, July 30th, 1975. While Jimmy was declared dead in absentia, his body has never been found to this day. The location of his body has been the speculation of many interesting theories, some reasonable, others insane. Theories range from being buried underneath the former Giant Stadium in New Jersey to being stashed under a barn, buried underneath a suburban home, and even being tossed into a swamp. The fact of the matter is, Jimmy Hoffa's body has never been located even after half a century. Not one person has come forward with any clues that might help solve this mystery. There you have it, folks, the top 10 people who seemingly vanished off the face of the earth. Let us know if we missed anything that we could put in a future video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, then turn on that notification bell to see more true crime videos daily.